So there is something known as access control, and this is going to come into action when you want to set some ACL to restrict the access for your audit logs, and it can be taken care with the IAM and even the stack driver logging. So you need to come up and do the following identity and access management roles to configure your data access audit logs from the Google Cloud resource. So the project level, we got the roles as owner. On the folder level, you need the roles to be your resource manager.folder admin. If you have the organization level, then your role is going to be resource manager.organization admin. Certainly, sometimes you would also like to come up and disable these audit logs. So the following steps should show how you to disable the audit logs for the data access. In the main table on the audit logs page, select one or more Google Cloud services. And the log type tab, you can select the data access audit log types that you want to disable and then click save. Where you have successfully disabled the data access audit logs, the table indicates this with a gray dash. Any enabled data access audit logs are indicated with a green check mark. And the logs configuration writer, the roles in the logging configuration writer will provide permission to read as well as to write the configuration of logs based metrics and even the sinks for exporting the logs. Let us now see how we can set the ACL to allow the metric writing for some custom metrics with IAM and the stack driver monitoring. Custom metrics use the same elements that are built in the cloud monitoring metrics use. A set of data points, metric type information which tells you what the data points represent, monitored resource information which tells you where the data points originated, and next is how we can get started with some custom metrics. To use a custom metric, you must have a metric descriptor for your new metric type. The metric descriptor will define how your data is organized. And before you start writing custom metric data, you need to determine how you want to use the data you collect and ensure that the data organization supports those objectives. So let's see how we can create a metric descriptor. The cloud monitoring can create the metric descriptor for you automatically. Or you can use the metric descriptor.create method in the monitoring APIs if you wish to create it manually. You cannot manipulate the metric descriptors by using the Google Cloud Console for the monitoring part. For organizing the data, let's say you have a program that runs on a single machine, and this program calls some auxiliary programs A and B. So here you want to count how often the programs A and B are executed. You also would like to know when the program A was executed and maybe more than 10 times per minute when the program B is executed more than 5 times per minute. Naming some custom metrics. When you create a custom metric, you define a string identifier that represents the metric type. The string must be unique among the custom metrics in your Google Cloud project, and it must use a prefix that marks the metric as a user-defined metric. For monitoring, the allowable prefixes are custom.googleapis.com and external googleapis.com/Prometheus. The prefix is followed by the name that will describe what exactly you are collecting. Choosing a monitored resource type. When you write your data to a time series, you must indicate where the data came from. To do this, you choose a monitored resource type that represents where your data comes from and then use that to describe the specific origin. The monitored resource is not the part of the metric type. Instead, the time series to which you write data includes a reference to the metric type, which describes the data, and a reference to the monitored resource, which indicates where the data originated. Creating the metric descriptions. The data you collect from a custom metric must be associated with a metric descriptor object that will be used to specify various information about the matrix.
For more details, check the link in the description. Learn with Whizlabs. Success certified.